All right, let's discuss the situation further. I'm now being joined on the program by Colonel Hassan Stanlabo, who is a retired senior military officer and a security consultant. Colonel, thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you,
let's start with this attack at Kuje prison there. What's your take on it? Are you shocked that this attack would happen after a similar incident happened in Owerri, for instance? Because it's like the pattern is the same.
Thank you, DEJI. I must confess, I'm a bit taken aback because I'm quick to ask, what do we do with our lessons learned? I mean, we've had common similarities like this, like the Owerri incident which you just mentioned, that's all. The lessons learned, what do we do with them? Why is it that we're not applying them as we move on, so as we improve on the quality for security we avail our citizens? This is quite an embarrassing situation that we could not even get the intelligence that these guys will be coming. It's so embarrassing.
But what we're learning is that intelligence was actually provided. So what was done with it?
If it was provided, and like most of us are beginning to suspect, then those who should have used it didn't use it. Government invariably has not been using the bulk of intelligence that has been coming before them. And it has always ended up in very embarrassing situations. All right? The essence of intelligence, because we pay so much in getting this intelligence. When I mean we pay, the process of acquiring it, processing it, and so on, it's not easy. Intelligence is not cheap to come by.
What I find difficult to understand is from what we are learning too, that these insurgents came in large numbers, so they would have moved through places, communities. How were they able to move in such large numbers and then, move and get up to Abuja, carry out this attack? I don't want to use the word successfully now, but let me use it successfully now in a negative sense. Whether we like it or not, they were not repelled, if you like. They carried out this attack, freed the inmates, and still after the entire operation, we understand this operation lasted for like 3 hours or so, or more than that.
Yep.
And then they left.
Yes. Failure of intelligence, and of course, lackadaisical attitude of those who are supposed to be taking care of this facility, the guards on duty, and so on. Okay, and frankly speaking, I must tell you that heads have just got to roll. If we are really serious, and if the president is really determined to correct things, mere comments which he passed with all the seriousness we saw isn't enough. After that, and so what? Heads must roll. You must take certain steps on ground so that you'll be able to change the entire tempo of things. Frankly, DEJI, look, we are in a, I don't know, we're in a complete messed situation now. Somebody was asking me the other day do I think we've been overwhelmed? Yes, we have been overwhelmed. Except you want me to start pretending. From the look of things, we seem to be overwhelmed. We even have equipment on ground, DEJI, which we are not making use of. We bought some Tucano aircraft.
Absolutely.
What is wrong with them? What has gone wrong with them? They are all acquiring dust and cobwebs in their hangars. Look at, for instance, the presidential convoy which was moving out that was attacked. In the first place, I expect that before such a convoy takes off, the entire left route itself must have been combed. Left and right bounds of that route must have been well combed. And inclusive to that combing is the bombardment of every camp that we know that these guys are resident in along that route.
Could it be because the president was not on the convoy, and so the security measures that should have been taken were not taken?
DEJI, we were already preparing for Mr. President's movement back home for the Salah. That's why his advance team was going. So part of the preparation is it when he's going that we'll start the preparation and bombarding these places I'm talking about. These are things that could have been going on. Shake the entire damn place. Our number one citizen is passing. We can't joke with him. In England, they say the crown is moving. What are we saying? irrespective of how we feel about the president, we must respect, we must give him the protection he deserves. I feel highly embarrassed as a Nigerian that my president's convoy has been attacked.
Honestly, let's go back to this Abuja, the prison attack now. As we speak today, what we're learning, what we've heard, of course, even the Minister of Defense confirmed that 63 Boko Haram insurgents, high-profile Boko Haram suspects now who were in that prison, all of them have been let loose now. They're free. And obviously some hardened criminals as well, you know, they've all poured out into society now. How dangerous is that for us? Very dangerous, DG.
Very dangerous. Okay? In the first place, that means we are going to have increased number of small arms weapons into the society, because at the end of the day, they will all lay hands on small arms weapons. All right? Level of criminality will enhance. Threats emanating from insurgents and terrorists to be higher. The society itself will become far more vulnerable. Okay? And so on. We could go on counting all the negatives that we visited on us, which is unfortunate.
Our security situation at the moment, what do you think, where do you think we're getting it wrong? Of course, no doubt, personnel is a very big issue. It's a big issue. We don't have enough personnel to deal with this. And of course, the government is recruiting. I mean, the other day they recruited, I think, about 4,000 or 5,000 soldiers now, completed their training and joined. They were fully absorbed into the army. The police too. I think about close to 10,000 recruits now joined and completed their training and joined. But the numbers are still not enough.
The number is still not enough, DG. And those of us who keep hammering on the issue of manpower deficit, most of us continue to say, look, expand on the training institutions. So far as we talk, we have only one training institution, which is the depot in Zaria. So when they recruit these civilians into the depot, it takes about 9 months to 12 months to train them and mold them into soldiers. So the 4,000 you're talking about, it's an annual turnout. I am saying that we need nothing less than 10 to 15,000 annual turnout. Can we have about 2 or 3 more training institutions established? Why are we relying only on Zaria? We should have another training institution, say in the east, another say in the west, and so on. And each giving us that capacity of 4,000 or 5,000 men on an annual basis. What stops Nigeria from having a 1 million man standing army? What stops us from having a 1 million man standing police? That's where we should be thinking to us. And we're going to see how we beef up this strength. We cannot be beefing it up by 4,000. Now looking at the challenges within security challenges within the country, you know, Northeast is there. The eastern part of the country is mention it. Nearly every zone out of our 6 zones
and you
has
need
problems.
a huge number to be able to.
You need a huge number of men. That is why soldiers are virtually in every state now. So when there is an emergency, to even muster a team that will move is a problem, because these ones are supposed to be taking care of where they are. So where is your reserve force, for instance, which you can move in? Do we have a proper, well-trained QRC, quick reaction team? In the real sense of it, a QRT should be at the place of occurrence within 10 to 15 minutes. It should have every form of pre-modal transport assets that can enable it move irrespective of terrain or weather conditions. It should be able to move, whether it is going by chopper or it is going by bikes or it is going by 4-wheel drives and so on. Do we have such a team in each zone at least? Which is the QRT team that was probably that is organic to where we kept these guys at the Kuje prison?
Yes, Kuje prison, exactly. We should
have
been
one,
a quick,
organic,
a quick response
to
team
such
around
places.
that area.
Most of where are keeping high-profile criminals like that.
And that is why the response, there was obviously no response
That's
at all.
That's it, DG. Before the response came in, it was about 1 or 2 hours, like we were made to understand. The guys had even finished and left with impunity, singing and chanting war songs. Not that they were chanting war songs, telling you we were here and we were leaving. You can do nothing. It's a big slap on us. It's a big slap, DG.
It's surely a big slap.
It's a big slap. As a retired military personnel, I feel highly embarrassed with the situation. I know how great our armed forces was those days when we went to Liberia, Sierra Leone, and what have you. Hey, look at we. See where we have been reduced to by some charlatans.
It's and you look at the insurgents, it would appear they're also using numbers, because when they move in numbers.
That's it, DG.
So you have about 200-300 insurgents.
Yes.
You would not expect that just maybe 10-13 soldiers would be able to take on them, which is exactly what we saw in Shiroro when the military men fell into that ambush. There were so many insurgents and not too many soldiers.
The guys were helpless. They were helpless. Even though they were armed, they were helpless. They were helpless. They were armed with what? AK-47. Most of those guys were carrying GPMG and so on. Even if they were carrying AK-47 with you, in number, they've outnumbered you nearly 100 times. So what can you do? They'll pick you up.
Well, it's a very worrying situation. Colonel, thank you very much for coming on the program.
I appreciate it.
Well, that's how much we can take on the program this week. We thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.